Now we are going to take a look at how we can solve access questions from an IGCSE paper. You have to always remember 5 very important steps. Import the data, set table structure, input data, set up query, and then finally design your report. Your first thing in your question paper, which you see below here, it says using a suitable database package, import the file j10kites.cvv. This is what we are going to do. That's the first step of importing data. What you need to do is, from access, you choose external data. Under external data, you can see text file. Choose text file, and then you choose browse. Go to the folder where your file is, click on the file, say open, and say OK. Now you have two choices: delimited for comma or tab separated fields. The other one is fixed length. We choose delimited. Say next. At this location, automatically it says comma is the separator. The very important thing that you need to know is to click on first row contains field names. If you do not do this, you will have problems later with your table. Say next. Say next. At this location it says let's access add primary keys, but this is question does not come in your paper, so let's say no primary key. If the question paper asks you to select some primary key, then you choose a primary key. Then say next. Then say finish. Close. We have finished the first step of inputting data. Now we have to do set up a table structure. Let's look at it. What's next? It says assign the following data types for the fields. So for make it is text, so I go to this, click on this file table, click on it, go to home, in view I can make it bigger, goes into design view. At make is already text, model is text. The next, let's take a look at what's next. Size is numeric, decimal place 1, size numeric, decimal places is 1, price decimal place is 2. Now skill is text, wind condition is text, use is text, number is number integer, the last one stock item is boolean and logic. When you click at this arrow, you don't see anything called boolean and logic here. Yes, no is boolean and logic. You click on yes and no. Right now we have set up the table. Let's go back to the view mode for entering data. Say save, yes, yes. To enter data, you need to go to the last, at the bottom, last record. Okay, now we need to enter the following records. I have just copied it elsewhere so that I can paste it down. Now the following records are being entered. Check your data. That's just to cross check once again. Save the data. Click on the save button. In question 41, it is very important that we distinguish between what has to be done in the query and what has to be done in a report. Now I have written down in a small notepad, these are the ones which goes for a query, and these are the ones which go for a report. Let's go about step by step to see how we can do that. Now it says produce a report which shows all the fields from all the data. It says contains a new field called value which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the price multiplied by the number in stock. Now first I need to create a query. I go to create, I say query wizard, I say simple query wizard, say OK, select all the fields, then go next. Here I say finish. Now my query is created. On the left hand side, this is the table and this is the query. So you should be sure with what you are working with. Now for the query, this is the data window. To look at how to modify or make changes or create the structure, you go to view, click on design view. At design view, for value, you notice we need to create a new field. So I'm going to an empty location here, on to the right. I take here, I type out value, VALUE. Don't forget to give a colon, give a space. In angle brackets, you type out price multiplied by the star as the multiple symbol, put star, and again in angle brackets you put number. Every time you do a particular task, it's nice to go check whether it's working and then come back. You see, we have finished the value. The value field is being created. I go back to design view. Now let me read further. The next thing is, has the value field set as currency with 2 decimal places. So for this, I go at the top of the column. When you get this symbol, the arrow symbol, click on it, then right click, choose properties. At properties, you take format, choose currency, and at decimal places choose 2. Now this would have set the properties to decimal place 2. You can take a look at it. Decimal place 2 and currency. The next one, shows only the records where skill level is beginner. I go back to design view. At skill level, you can see this is criteria, this is sort, these are the show, or when you have double condition or you use this. So at criteria, I'm typing out beginner, BE. So I've set this criteria to beginner. Let me take a look at it. So you notice in the skill level only beginner appears. All other fields are not displaying. I go back to design and I go to the next question. Shows all fields and their labels in full. Now this question is to be done in the report. Let me move down. Fits to single page width. That's also to be done in the report. Has a page orientation of landscape. That is also for report. sorts the data into ascending order of make. So this can be done. So in make, at the sort column I choose ascending, so that is also been done. Calculates the value of these kites. This is to be done in the report. Shows this total value, that's all this goes into the report. Now let's go back. Now our query is finished. So now I save this, I close this, save. Now I create a report. For report, I go to report wizard, click on report wizard. Now it does not say which fields, it says all fields. So it says here, this we did in the report. Shows all fields and their labels in full. So now I'm going to say next, 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 next. So it chooses has a page orientation of landscape. So we have to choose as a page orientation of landscape. Say next, say finish. Now we have a report here. You notice it's supposed to fit in one page. It says fit in a single page wide. Okay, now I'm going to create the report. For creating a report, I choose report wizard. I click on report wizard. The first thing, I must make sure that it is from the query. Currently it's from the table. I need to choose the query, otherwise all records from the table will appear. Now here I choose all the fields and say next, and say next, next again. I need to choose landscape here because that's what it says here. It says has a page orientation of landscape. So I say next and then preview, and I finish. The report appears. Now you would notice that we were supposed to have fit to one single page, and it also says labels in full. So now if you notice, at this portion the labels are not visible. So what I do, I go to the design view of it, I go to view, design, and then I adjust each of my label sizes by clicking at shift and click on both, drag and reduce the size. Now I can increase this size to make it bigger. I move this to the left. I can increase this so that the complete label is being shown. Stock item. Now you can see that the whole report is viewed in landscape with all labels visible. Next. It says shows this total value at the bottom of value column. So I go back to design view. At design view, at the bottom of report footer, I drag a little portion, and under value I will choose this text box. This is a label and this is a text box. So if you choose you have to choose a label and click on that and place it down value. Here you type out is equal to sum open brackets value and close brackets. What else is saying? He says format the total value to currency with 2 places. So now I click on this, right click, choose properties, add properties. I would say decimal places is 2 and format is currency. Next, it says here has the label current value of stock. So I just copy that, and in this label I'll expand the size of this label and paste this out here. And size, one more thing, includes heading kites for beginners. So I copy this and go to the heading. I paste it into the heading, replace this, then has your name, center number and candidate number on the left. So what I would do is name, center number. So don't choose a label because that will give you an error. You're supposed to choose this, click on that and paste it here. So name is Mohan, center number is IN002 and candidate number is 004. So now my report is ready. I go to view, I can see my report. The next thing to be done is to save and print the report. So I save it and then I can print this. Print. See, I can print it. Thank you. That's the end of the lesson.